Okay, fine. I guess it is working now. So, very good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Crack Grade B. Today, we are going to start with our new regulation, that is IFSC Capital Market Regulation. Many of you are already students of our paid course, and we have already covered two regulations over there: market infrastructure institutions as well as rules and regulations of issuing as well as listing of securities. Fine. Good evening. Now, all those students who are watching my lectures on the regulations, I have a question to make. So you have to answer that as well, right? Question I'm going to make, and search about it, learn about it, and then answer me. So my question is that in the issuing and listing of securities, we have understood about the IPO related process. Correct? We have understood what are the IPO process. You guys have to tell me that which issuer or which company is allowed to bring out IPO in the IFSCA. What are the revenue related regulations as well as profit related regulations? Can you tell me? So that is my question. This is the type of question I'll be asking you in the class. If anyone knows, please tell me. What is the operating revenue related condition when any company wants to bring out the IPO in the IFSCA? What are your answers? Remember it? Anyone? Okay, think about it and give me the answer. Now talking about the IFSC capital market related regulations. Now first of all, what we are going to see over here is participants. Please see clearly. You might have seen, you might have listened about these particular participants whenever we have discussed about financial market, or we have discussed, very good, Savinay, it is 20 million. 20 million what? 20 million what? Is it rupees or US dollar? Great. Thank you so much for responding. Now see over here, who are all the eligible participants which are permitted in the IFSCA to participate in the capital market of IFSCA? Yes, good Manish. So stock exchange, commodity exchange, clearing corporation, depository, brokers, investment advisors, portfolio managers, alternate investment fund, mutual funds, and any other intermediary. Now let's answer me one thing. How many intermediaries are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So out of these 9, please count and please tell me how many of these intermediaries you know them clearly, what kind of function that they do, and do you know about them, that what kind of function they do, what is their activities. If you know clearly, you just have to tell me in the numbers that out of the 9 you understand about the functions as well as the work of 6 intermediaries or 7 intermediaries, right? So by that I'll have an idea that how much depth I have to cover. Quickly, I need answers quickly. We do not have enough time. Okay, great. What about others? 6 to 7. Okay, that is also a good thing. About everyone else? Please try to participate in the class because it helps us to keep the class engaging. Fair idea about 9. Great, very great. Okay, so can you tell me just one out of these intermediaries which you are not having a good idea about? Anyone? Just one you have to tell me that which you consider as difficult and you do not have a fair idea. Alternative investment fund. Okay. Clearing corporation. Fine. What about others? I guess by the answers, like I can make a fair idea. Picture quality is not good. Dear, I am using 4K quality camera, right? I have the best possible camera. Please increase the quality of your video in your phone, right? So I do not have any problem for my side. Watch at 1080. Now see over here, alternative investment fund. I guess that is the problematic area. Fine. Now we are going to cover all these intermediaries first, and then we are going to start with the regulations that are there for the capital market intermediaries. Very important. We have to cover them when we are reading about IFSCA. Now let's see. When talking about intermediaries, what does intermediaries means? So as per me, if I am talking about myself, when I started learning about stock markets, so this is how I understood. There are two participants, right? These are two primary participants. What are those? So first of all, the important participant for me is the company or the organization which issues the security. This is number one. After that, oh, that means so much to me. Thank you so much, Kartika. So number two, this is company, and number two, we have what? Investors. Fine. So these are two primary people for me. One is the company, the other one is the investor. Now all those people who lie between these, company and investor, who are facilitating the transaction happening between the company and investor, they are called as the intermediaries, right? So who are all the intermediaries? They are stock brokers, merchant bankers, underwriters, etc., etc. They all facilitate the functioning of stock market. So in the easy terms, we have understood that what does intermediaries mean. Now we are going to see everyone is an intermediary between these two parties, your company as well as your customer. After that, let's talk about a stock exchange. So when I am teaching, I always tell that stock exchange is a marketplace, right? Marketplace where buyers and sellers meet. Fine. This marketplace provides liquidity to my security. Suppose I have purchased the shares of TCS, correct? Now, after that, I do not want to hold them any longer. I have to sell them somewhere. So, stock exchange provides me that particular platform where I can go and I can sell my shares. Understood this thing? So, this is the role of stock exchange, which provides you a platform for buying and selling of existing securities. That much idea we can keep about stock exchange. This is the role of stock exchange, that it is a marketplace which provides liquidity. If you do not want to hold the securities, then you can sell them, or if you are a buyer, you want to buy any particular kind of security, then you can buy them as well. Now, next is commodity exchanges. So commodity exchange is a place where buying and selling of commodities occurs. A commodity is any raw material or primary agricultural produce that can be bought or sold, whether wheat, gold, crude oil, among many others. So everyone who is watching right now, they are going to tell me, do you understand the role of commodity exchange clearly or not? Do you understand the... Thank you so much. So, do you understand what is the purpose of commodity exchange? Please tell me very quickly. Okay, great. So I'm not going into details. Still, I'm going to tell you just a little bit. See, what happens is these wheat, gold, crude oil, these are such commodities which are required by certain buyers in the, what you can say, wholesale quantity, in quite a large quantity. So there are commodity exchanges, right? There are buyers as well who want to buy these particular commodities, and then there are sellers who are a provider. Fine. So in commodity exchanges, if you have attended my derivatives class, in that we have already talked about what are the spot contracts, futures, as well as the forwards. So futures and forwards, these are the most popular ones, as well as spot is also popular in the commodity exchanges. Both have their role to play. Now next is merchant bankers. So who are merchant bankers? It is a financial institution that provides capital to the companies in the form of share ownership instead of loans. They also provide advisory on the corporate matters. Both commercial bank as well as investment banks, they can be engaged in the merchant banking. So before divulging more information about merchant bankers, please tell me in just one word, what do you understand by merchant banker? What do you guys understand? Just one word. Only one word is enough, and I will get to know that what is your understanding about the merchant bankers. See, by whether you should study from the videos or PDF, it depends on how you are as a person, right? There are people who are very good at learning, rote learning. They can learn whatever is presented before them, so they can go for the PDF. Then there are people who have just started, or there are people whose concept may not be so much clear. So for them, video is a great option. Apart from that, there are students, right? There are students who are not having so much concentration at studies, right? So they have some concentration related problems. They are not able to focus when they are reading the PDFs. So for them, videos might be helpful. I cannot tell you that you should go for which particular option, PDF or videos. It totally depends on you. You have to identify your merits as well as demerits, and according to that, you can decide that what work can be, what works for you. You can decide after that. So yes, I asked about merchant bankers. Merchant bankers, financial coordination, managing and guiding work. Okay, fine. What else? Just for the sake of, I'm not making it a problematic thing, fine, but I'm just simplifying it. There are 4 categories of the merchant bankers. Now understand, all of the merchant bankers cannot perform the underwriting related functions, right? There is a limitation onto it. There are several categories and the what kind of works they can perform. So for me, merchant banker means lead managers. Lead managers means what? They are the people who work alongside a company. Company appoints them. So they provide various kind of services. Number one services is like issue management. In the paid course, you can get the PDF in the paid course. Now please, that is the statement line that I always say. Next thing, what I was telling, fine. So lead managers, what they do is they provide issue management related services. Now if company says that okay, we want to bring out our IPO, fine, yes, so they are underwriters as well. Fine, that is great. Now what I am saying, please listen to that and let me complete my sentence. So they do issue management. If company says that okay, we want to bring out an IPO, or company says that we want to bring out the FPO, any kind of shares, securities, etc., whatever company wants to do, they help in with that. They also play the role of underwriting. What is the meaning of underwriting? So underwriting means that if the company is not able to fulfill the minimum subscription norms, then underwriters will pitch in, underwriters will come, and they say to the company that please pay us the commission and then stay assured. If the public is not going to come, then we are going to take up the shares. We are going to invest in you. So that is the kind of support that the underwriters provide. Apart from providing the insurance related to the issue management, there is one more crucial work that these underwriters do. That is the marketing of the issue. They do market your issue. They tell everyone, they spread the word of mouth that okay, this company is bringing the IPO, or this company is bringing the FPO, and we should go and invest in that particular company. Hence the role of underwriters is very crucial. Merchant bankers, they play this kind of role. Now which organization they play role of merchant bankers? So every bank that you see, be it ICICI, be it your HDFC, Axis Bank, etc., they have a separate branch for performing these kind of capital market related transactions. Fine. I hope you all are aware about it. Now let's talk about the stockbrokers. What does stockbrokers do? So it is a regulated professional individual. Wait for a second. Usually associated with a brokerage firm or broker dealer who buys and sells stocks, other securities for both retail as well as the institutional client, right? How does these agents work? So they perform a role of lead. I'm speaking the truth. So it is not daily that we provide the lectures on YouTube, but yes, few of the lectures are free of cost for everyone. Like we do provide the ministry related lectures, we do provide the daily news analysis related lectures. Once in a while, when your exams will be nearer, we are also going to conduct the MCQs related sessions. Those are free of cost and you are very much welcome to attend those. But the such kind of lectures like the IFSCA related complete lectures, these are provided in the paid course. That is also very nominally priced. So you can just watch out for that. Next is through a stock exchange or over the counter in return for a fee or commission. So they are known by the numerous professional designations. They have so many designations with themselves. Now this is such a typical definition, right? We do not understand what does a stockbroker means. So I am just saying that these are the agents. Once the shares have been issued, they go for, and if there is a buyer who is not knowing about which company to invest, what kind of shares they should be investing in, so they perform the buying and selling function in the stock market. They aid in that, right? Just understand in this way that suppose there is what used to do in the earlier times when we were not having the internet and these kind of facilities. So at that time there was very much fashion of travel agents, right? So these travel agents, what they do was they used to provide the ticket booking facilities, both air ticket booking and your obviously flight ticket bookings, your train ticket bookings, etc, etc. Now the fashion has been reduced, but because everyone has got their hands on the mobile and we can do it by ourselves. But what they used to do earlier is the same kind of role that the stock brokers or the sub brokers play, right? So they act as the intermediary between the issuer as well as the buyer. Fine, they work as an agent. Yes, dalals. Great. Now next the on the other hand, there are sub-brokers also who is not a trading member in a stock exchange but who acts on a behalf of trading member as an agent. His task is to help the investors in the security in such trading members. The leading stockbrokers in India, these are listed below. You can see and you can find that some of the organizations that you know about, your ICICI, HDFC, they are present over here. This list is not a exclusive list. Exclusive list means this is not it. There are so many stockbrokers, sub-brokers out there. Now one more thing that I want to tell you at this point of time, we will not go into that much detail. There are kinds of membership in every stock exchange and I am going to tell you the very basic membership. Number one is the trading members. Fine. And then we also have called as the clearing members. Some of you has mentioned me that he was not able to understand the work of clearing corporation. So please rest assured, we are going to cover that as well. Now trading members are those who perform the trading on the stock exchanges. Obviously, in order to have, suppose if you want to have the assets of any organization, suppose there is a company, right? There is let's say TCS, for example. TCS is there. Now you want to sell the shares of TCS to your buyers or to your customers. Now first you have to get your hands on the shares of TCS. For that you have to become a trading member. So the brokers who directly act as a trading member, apart from that there are sub brokers as well who are the agents of such brokers. They do not perform as a trading member. Fine. So because this whole regulation is about the capital market intermediaries, hence I'm not going into that much detail, because anyways we are going to cover what are the definitions, what kind of work do they perform, what are the regulations applicable onto it, everything is going to be covered. So not much detailed discussion I'm not doing right now. The next thing is the underwriting, right? What does underwriting means? So I have already told you there are minimum subscription norms. Now for all those students with whom I have completed issuing and listing of the securities, I would like to ask, if they are watching this particular lecture, yes, I would like to ask them one particular question, right? You have to answer me, and anyone can answer if they know about it. What is the minimum subscription norm as per the IFSCA regulations? Tell me. For a general company, what is the minimum subscription norms as per the IFSCA regulations? Quickly tell me. Very good, Mr. Rawal. But that is just one part of the minimum subscription. What about the other part that we are missing? Yes, good. Fine. When you guys did not answer the first question, I was in a bit shock. But at least you have answered the second one. Very good. So I will repeat it for you guys, those who are not aware about it. There is something called as minimum subscription norms. Minimum subscription norms means if you are coming into the pub market to get the funding. Suppose, now I know that some of you who are already watching the lectures, they are aware about what does minimum subscription means, but just bear with me for just 1 minute and we are going to cover this. So suppose you are going into the market and you are asking for the 10 lakh rupees. Just an example, you are a company, you need a particular you want to carry out a particular project. For that you need 10 lakh rupees and you went to the market. Now you invited public, you said that, dear public, please come and invest in me. Public came, but public just invested for 5 lakh rupees. You got application just for 5 lakh rupees. Now please understand over here, your project will not be a successful project. Why? Because in the eyes of SEBI, you demanded 10 lakh rupees, but you have got just 5 lakh rupees. That means your project is underfunded. You have not received total funding. So the money of these investors is also in the risk zone. So SEBI does not allows it. So there were norms of minimum subscription. In the gift city, whose regulations do we follow? We follow the regulations of IFSCA, right? And our dearest IFSCA, they say that minimum subscription norms is the 75%. That means whatever amount that you are asking, you should be receiving the 75% of the funding. Apart from that, there should be minimum at least 200 subscribers. There should be at least 200 subscribers. So these are the minimum subscription norms of the IFSCA. I hope you have understood this. Now coming to the second part. Can you also tell me, now I am asking just little bit too much questions, but please tell me that what should be the minimum issue size as per the IFSCA regulation? What should be the minimum issue size? I am asking minimum, that means at least. Answers please. Good. Savine? What about others? What do they think about it? Good. So issue size shall not be less than the $15 million, right? So it is not 50, it is 15, and it's fine. We should be making mistakes so that we can be prepared for the future, and obviously everyone learns from their mistakes. See over here, So your minimum issue size, they have told you that minimum issue size should be 15 million US dollars and you should be receiving 75% of the funding. Now again, this is such a huge amount. Companies are in a fix, they are in a dilemma whether public will come or not come. So here comes the underwriters say please go ahead, please issue your securities, and if the public is not going to come, if there will not be 75% of the subscription, then we are going to pitch in and we are going to give you the investment. Understood? Because of this, they obviously charge a commission for providing such kind of services. You can understand that they are a kind of insurance to the company that their issue will be a successful issue. But our IFSCA is a little smart. They have also said that there should be at least 200 subscribers. That is the amount that we want. So I hope that you have understood the subscribers. An underwriter is a person who engages in the business, right, of a particular company. And underwriting is an arrangement in which a registered underwriter gives an undertaking to the issuing company that in case of company's public issue is not fully subscribed, then underwriter is going to purchase the unsubscribed amount, right? Okay, so I hope we are not going to read this because the 90% requirement, this is for the SEBI. This is not for IFSCA, because I have taken the concepts as well over here before starting with the capital market intermediaries. So this is a little bit having the contents of SEBI as well. Now talking about the depositories, right? So who all are the depositories? When we are going to cover the bullion related things, you are going to witness that the role of depository is a much bigger. When we just talk about the capital market, we just assume that the role of depositories is a restricted one, but actually they have a much larger role to play. If I tell you the natural meaning of the depositories, what does depository actually mean? This is, suppose, understand this very carefully. Depositories are such organization which keep safe the assets, securities, or any other kind of document on behalf of someone else. That means on behalf of the original issuer, they keep assets, documents, or any other kind of security safe for the beneficiaries on behalf of the original issuer. That is the work of depository. Now here comes my favorite question. My question is that do you guys understand the difference between depository as well as the role of depository receipts? Are these both same and they come under the same concept, or these are different? Great. What about others? See, it is a very good opportunity. Whether you are a paid course member or not, it does not matter. Currently, we are in a live situation and you have got all the rights to ask the questions. Anyone? Same or different? And in total, if you do not understand the concept, you can just ask me. So first we are going to understand the role of depositories. First let me tell you, because okay, fine. First we are going to understand what is the role of depository, and let me break it out to you that role of depository and the role which is played by them is different one, and the function of depository receipt is a different function, right? So both of them are different things, and obviously my students, they have answered it rightly, and I'm so very happy about it. Now let's see, what is the role of depositories? Depositories is an institution which maintains investors' account in the electronic format. Fine. So these particular depositories, what they do is, suppose I have purchased some of the things, or there are companies, right? So companies have issued the securities. Now these securities related document, nowadays trading is done electronically. Nobody cares for the physical security papers, because now the ownership is also transferred. Whenever I am doing the trading, I am the seller, someone else is the buyer. We are engaging in a buying and selling of securities, right? So I am not going to give any kind of physical document papers to the other person. The securities, the ownership is going to be transferred electronically. Why? Because this particular depository is going to write that security in the name of buyer. It is going to remove from my name and it is going to write that particular security in the buyer's name. Understood? So the function of depository is they transfer the ownership of the shares from one investor to the others whenever there is trading of shares that take place. So can I say that these depositories are the data maintenance units? I can say that, right? They maintain all the securities ownership documents. If there is a change in ownership, then they are going to reflect in the documents as well. Fine. What does it helps us? So it reduces the risks which are there with the physical ownership papers, like damage, theft, and any kind of subsequent misuses of the fake securities, right? So this is the role of depository. Now again, they interface with the investors through their agents called as the depository participants. Again, I have got a very good question. You guys have to tell me that how is the role of depository different from the depository participants? See, we try to make the assumptions. Understood? Whenever we are reading any particular document, we try to make the assumptions कि ये ऐसा होगा, but ऐसा होता नहीं है, कुछ अलग होता है. Okay, agent. But what is the crucial difference between them? There is one crucial difference on how do they maintain data. That is what I want to ask. What is the one crucial difference between the depository and depository participant? Anyone can answer. Yes. Great. Not great. That is not the correct thing. Depository is the medium. Yes. So understand this thing. This is a very interesting thing, right? There are so many things that we can understand about depository and depository participants, but we should learn how to walk before we can run, right? So it is always better to understand the few important things. Now, first thing which I am going to tell you, this depository. There are so many depository participants, right? There are multiple depository participants. What are these depository participants? They are the agents of depository, right? Now, these depositories, they maintain the securities related data in company wise format. They maintain it company wise. Now, please understand this. There are few companies, right? We can always count that how many companies are there, and it is relatively a shorter field of data. So they maintain shorter but bulky field, right? This is maintained by our depository. And depository participant, they maintain the security related data customer wise. Obviously, the role of agents is always to provide the services to the customer. Fine. So they maintain the data customer wise, they maintain the data company wise. Is that, am I right? Now you must have understood that this is the basic difference between the depository, and this is not a difference but how exactly they function. Okay, great. So obviously you have given the answer, so very good for that. At least you know about it and you have the courage to speak out on the public platform. So that is also commendable. Now next, over here. So the interface with the investor through the agent, this is called as depository participants. Depository participants, the banks, financial institutions or the registered trading members. Now next is depository participant. Depository participant is the agent of the depository and it is authorized to offer depository services to the investors, right? According to the guidelines, financial institutions, banks, custodians, etc., they can become the depository participants in a depository. So please remember the eligibility conditions also, that who can become a depository participant, right? Now next, moving on to the custodians. So the custodian play a critical role in the secondary market. SEBI Custodian of Securities Regulation, it was framed for the proper conduct of the business. As per the SEBI regulations, the custodial services in relation to securities of the client, gold related instruments held by the mutual fund or the deeds of real estate, they provide, see, understand this, depositories are going to provide you the services related to holding your securities paper or holding up your ownership related data. But apart from that, we also have some kind of physical assets, right? Those assets which need the securities. So like gold, mutual funds, correct? They keep the gold, they give services against that. Then there are services of real estates as well, the property related papers, etc., etc. So we need a particular organization where we can keep our physical securities. I am not talking about the online data maintenance over here. Online data, ownership related data in an electronic format, that is maintained by the depository. I am talking about a physical asset, a asset that has existence. Suppose this pen is very crucial for me. I want someone to save it or I want someone to provide it the security. So custodian is that organization which provides the security to this particular pen, and not this particular pen but the gold, the real estate related papers, etc., etc., title deeds of your real estate. That is the asset that needs the protection. So custodian works for them. Now compliance related thing that we are going to anyway see. Now comes the clearing houses. Understand this. Many of you people, they were having the doubt in the clearing corporation, right? So I'm going to talk about it in a little bit detail, fine. And we are not going to use any typical financial term. We are going to use the as simple terms as possible. Now understand. Suppose here is person A and here is person B. Person A wanted to sell his car. Person B wanted to purchase a car. So they went to a car bazaar. They went to a car bazaar. Now this is a marketplace there where they met. This person has given his car in the car bazaar and this person has came to inquire about the car, right? So this is the seller and this person is the buyer. This is the marketplace. This is the marketplace, right? So after this, just understand this piece of information and try to understand that what I want to convey. So in this particular situation, these two people, person A and person B, they know each other. Fine, they know each other personally, they have met before this particular transaction has happened. After that, Mr. B thought that okay, car is nice and I want to purchase. Mr. B conveyed his expression to the car bazaar. Car bazaar has expressed that same thing to the seller. Now the transaction has happened. Mr. A has given the car to Mr. B. Mr. B has given the payment to Mr. A. Now the transaction of this buying and selling is complete, right? So this is how traditional markets function. There is just one marketplace. That one marketplace is ensuring that both Mr. A and Mr. B should get what they want to have. Mr. A should get the money and Mr. B should get the car. This is the responsibility of Car Bazaar. So Car Bazaar is working as a marketplace as well as a settlement body, if I talk about in the capital market related terms. This also works as a settlement body. Settlement body, what is the work of settlement body? That the buyer as well as seller, they should get what they want to have. Have you understood up to this particular point? Shall I move forward to the clearing corporation? Yeah, but I'm not going to use such kind of terms over here. We are going to move on such kind of typical words, but let's keep it simple as we can keep. So understood? Have you understood everyone? Please give me a yes so that I can move and I can tell you that what is the role of clearing corporation. Okay, others are still sleeping. कोई बात नहीं, हम तो आगे बढ़ते हैं, हमें पढ़ाना है. यहाँ देखिए आप, so seller and as well as the buyer. Now we are shifting the same particular example with relation to a clearing corporation or a stock market, right? In the stock market, stock exchange plays the role of marketplace. Marketplace where the sellers and buyers, they see that okay, what is the suppose as a seller I want to sell a particular quantity of security at a particular price. Now I have to find a particular buyer who is interested in buying the security at the same price, right? Now there are some problems over there, right? What are the problems? Number one problem, the seller and buyer are not personally aware about each other. They do not know about each other and there is no mechanism that they can meet with each other. Someone is sitting in let's say Karnataka and someone is sitting in Delhi. So they are not going to meet each other personally. All the transactions are happening on the electronic medium, right? And the number two thing, in the our traditional way, Car Bazaar was playing the role of marketplace as well as a settlement body. But in case of a stock market, there is so much traffic related to the transactions of buying and selling that if they are able to perform only that work efficiently, that is more than enough. There are stock exchanges who play the twin role. They have a separate division for stock market and they have a separate organization division as a clearing corporation as well. But this is the regulation that they should be having separate divisions. So one function they are performing as a marketplace, right? Now the transaction has happened. Now who is going to ensure that settlement also happens? So this is the role of clearing corporation. Once they have entered into the transaction on the stock exchange, your buyer and seller, once they have entered on a transaction in stock exchange, now here comes the responsibility of clearing corporation. So clearing corporation, he acts as a mediator. He is a buyer for this seller and he acts as a seller for this particular buyer. Why? Because these two parties, they are not aware about each other. Number one thing. This clearing corporation, what is the function? So it has the function that the transaction should get clear. Buyer should be paying the amount and seller should be giving the securities, right? Clearing of the transaction as well as the settlement of transaction. What does settlement means? That buyer has paid the money, seller has given the security. This is called as settlement. So to ensure that, this is the function of clearing corporation. And believe me, before you start trading, they require a margin money from you as well. First, deposit with us something, right? You are going to trade, and what will happen if you run away? Because the transaction settlement days are also like that. In some cases it is 1 day settlement, in some cases 0 day settlement, in some case 2 day settlement, that you have to settle the transaction in between these particular days. So what if you ran away? So for that, margin money requirement is a compulsory thing, correct? And suppose if this buyer defaults on his commitment, then clearing corporation is going to fulfill the commitment with this particular seller, and obviously he is going to be punished in a financial way, etc. Cannot reveal the personal informations on public platforms, so I'm sorry for that. So this is the role of clearing corporation. We are going to study about it in detail in our another lecture. This is it for today. Thank you so much for joining in, right? And if you did like this lecture, then please do not forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much. Oh, our platform. So you can search for Crack Grade B. There are all the informations available. If you want few more information about the platform, then you can always call on the helpline number. We are happy to help, right? Thank you.